we go. Now I have access to a Nikon D5 I could use anytime, and I tested the Nikon D5 relative to the Nikon D850. Let's do a flashback. You know what a flashback was? Remember, what was the TV show where they do flashback and they do... I hate that Dana Carvey. I think it was Dana Carvey. Horrible comedian. Horrible. Not funny at all. I think he's the one that did that. Let's do a flashback. I was the first person reviewing the Nikon D850. And I said explicitly, people asked, well, what about autofocus acquisition and track relative to the Nikon D5? And I said it is right on par with the Nikon D5. And those were my exact words. I said it's right there with the Nikon D5. Then, of course, autofocus depends on several different factors. The contrast and the EV value of what the hell it is you're trying to acquire. Acquiring something in autofocus is one thing. Track is another. Okay, and additionally the type of motor that's actually in the lens. I mean, you can have the fastest camera in the world and a slow-ass lens. But anyway, I said that the Nikon D850 was on... I was the first person to say it because I was the first person reviewing the D850. On par with the Nikon D5. Well, somebody else came out with a video where they have a Nikon D5. They own it, which is a horrible camera to own. D5 just sucks as a camera. And the D850, and they were saying, oh, crikey, mate, it's nowhere near the close. Really? And then a lot of people came over and they just took a big old dump on me. Well, you know, Koala Boy says that they're far apart. I said, no, they're not. Well, you know, he might know. He has the Nikon D5. And lo and behold, a real photographer came along, whether you think I'm one or not, confirming it two different ones. Whether you agree with me or not, confirming exactly what I said. First, it was a fro boy, which I'm not a fan of him either, but I think his exact words were something along the line that he found basically a very, very meager difference between the two. They were right on par. He said something right along the fact that they were neck and neck. Something to that effect. So, confirmation 1. Confirmation 2. Real photographer, Steve Perry. Really great guy. I like him. I've talked to him a few times. Great guy. And he owns a Nikon D5. And he reported, too, he's got a lot of hardcore glass, 600mm f4 Nikkor, 200, 500, which I got a couple of those as well. He reported that his Nikon D5, and he went back and forth testing with the D850, that while the D5 edged out the D850, that in some exact words, and I can't quote his exact words, were very negligible. Something to the fact that they were basically what Fro said. Neck and neck. So, yeah, so there's the flashback. Sometimes it's good to flash back because people have attention spans kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a lemming, you know. I got attacked endlessly. Oh, well, you know, crikey boy says that you're wrong. It's like, well, I said that they're neck and neck, the D850 and the Nikon D5. And of course, autofocus track is one thing, autofocus acquisition is another, and autofocus speed is dependent upon many factors. Even if you have the fastest camera, like I said, if you have a slow, like a D-series screwdriver lens, you know, that's just slow autofocus regardless of what damn camera you're using. But all things being normalized, the same lens, I said they're on par. So, there we go. You know, I don't think you're going to actually... Most of the people actually out there love Steve Perry because he's just a bundle of happiness. He's like really joyful, and his videos are... And I'm not putting him down for that. I actually think he's an awesome dude. He's really happy, and he's out there shooting dangerous animals with his crotch in the dirt, and he's actually putting his butt on the line, you know, like shooting grizzly bears while his junk is sticking in the mud. I mean, it's like, I wouldn't be that close to that grizzly bear. You know, he's just out there doing it, so... You know, everybody seems to love him, and his findings confirm exactly what I told you. And so did Fro Boys. So, right now we got 3 people saying the same thing. Myself, and I said it first, and then we have Fro Boy, and then we have Steve Perry, all saying the same thing. The only person who dissented was Crikey! So, for all of you out there who attacked me, saying that the D850 was on par with the Nikon D5 autofocus, well, don't take my word for it. You should take Steve Perry's word for it, or, you know, Fro Boy, because what they said is basically exactly what I said. They said the same thing in slightly different words, but they said the same thing. So, By the way, Petapixel picked up that Australian guy's video. He says, "Oh, the D5 is much better for than the D850." No, it's not. It's just not. And the D5 does have an enormous buffer. Enormous, which, you know, you're paying $6,500 for that. But it's also got a crappy 20 megapixel full frame sensor. It has wonderful output, but I mean 20 megapixels, and I know the reason they do that for insane high ISO performance, which I know that. But it also has a damn anti-aliasing filter, which fuzzes up the images. And the fact is, as well, you know, it's wonderful that it performs. Actually, the images look like total crap up in the million ISO range. Like, oh, look, the Nikon D5 can go up at 5 zillion ISO. It's like, you know what? Nobody's shooting up there. There's like a handful of people that are paid to like shoot like really, really grotty, you know, like events really late at night, or you know, sports photography and incredible low light. No. 99.99% of people out there, including professional photographers, don't need really, really, really high, insane high ISO performance like that. So I'm glad I could roll the clock back down on that one and set the record straight. It's like, if you don't agree with me, you know, I got 2 other photography channels said the same thing I did. I said it first, and I was right, and I stood by that, and I'm still right. Yeah, this is me tooting my horn. Because I know someone's going to say that. Oh, you know, you love to toot your horn. If only I could reach it. I'll edit out that later. Thanks for watching. Bye.